Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I have actually taken about, I think, a week off of shooting videos. So everything that you've been seeing, they were kind of recorded before the week off because I went down to my parents' house in Tennessee. And sorry, that was loud. And just to check and see how everything's going. And my sister was going to be there. She flew in. So I thought I would drive down and get to see her at the same time as my parents and my uncle. So that was fun. Some of you know my dad has Alzheimer's, and he works really, really hard to try to keep his, abilities and memory. And he goes to speech therapy, which has been, I think, very useful. So if you have a loved one who has Alzheimer's, I recommend that speech therapy. It's not really about speech. It's about ideas for how to keep your speech, keep the words and everything. And they give him homework, and I think it's really good. So I had told you guys about the bridge that is at my dad's farm. And we were kind of going to check to see how it was doing after all the rain. And the truth was the rain didn't really affect it. It was age that affected it. We knew in the past few years that it had started to rot. But upon taking out some of the boards, it was really, really rotten. And I bet it was probably 18 years ago. My dad had, when he bought the place, it just had like a flat piece that went over the creek. The creek doesn't look like much at all right now, but sometimes it can be a raging river. It just depends on the water level. And so somebody had built a wood piece that kind of went from one side to the other. Well, during a big storm, that got pushed down the creek, and it actually caught on a pipe that goes under the road and caused some trouble, so we had to get rid of that. So at that time, we built this bridge, and there are cement footings under each side and then wood, and we had it slanting down and then go straight and slant so he could drive his John Deere over it, which he no longer uses the John Deere, but he does still use an electric Greenworks riding mower, which is pretty impressive because he can't drive or anything anymore. And he probably shouldn't technically still be driving around in a mower. I'm sure the powers, doctors would say not to, but he does a really great job and he still knows how to use it. So it's his joy. What? I'm not going to take that. But here are the pieces that have just, rotten away, which is expected. Like I said, it's 15 years old. So we started, my sister actually, before I even got there, pulled up this wood and was like, okay, we have to replace this. And we started looking at it. Here's the footer. It's a cement. It goes into the ground. But you can see the wood just rotted away under here. It's a wonder the thing hadn't collapsed, and it had kind of shifted. And we just realized this is too much work. We're older now, and it was just my sister and me and my husband, and he has a lot of health issues now. So there's no way it was going to be my sister and myself pretty much doing the work. And we just felt so overwhelmed. So she put on Facebook and asked if anyone could help. And pay them, obviously. But we had a lot of people who wanted to do that job. And we actually got a guy who came over and let me see, hold on, I want to skip those pictures. And he tore the whole thing down in about 5 hours. And here are all the wood pieces, but he tore it down. And he's going to come out sometime this week, I think, and build a new one. And the funniest thing about it is that he said, do you want it just like how it is? And we're like, well, sure, whatever works. And he said, well, it would be, I can do it just like this, no problem. He said, but it would be cheaper if I do cement here, and then wood on top. And I was like, duh, why didn't we think of that? Like, oops, hold on, I don't show you those yet. I have no idea why, when we built this thing, we didn't think to make this part cement. That makes a lot of sense, because then you don't get the water going up. Anyway, whatever. So, although my mom was asking, how do they keep the cement on the angle? How does it not just ooze down? And I said they make it thick, but I don't really know the answer. And I also wondered if he could just use like a metal, like the metal grates they use on tractors, like on a farm. I can't think what you call them. Flatbed kind of things. But he said that would be more expensive than the wood. So I don't know, whatever. It's getting done, I hope. Right now my dad has to drive outside the gate and go around to be able to take his mower over to the other side because the bridge isn't there. But that's fine. So that's the bridge story. Now, in other news, while we were there, my mom was on Facebook and she saw a post about a woman who I don't remember if the woman had died or what happened, but there was a kitty cat that needed a home, and they said she was so wonderful and lap cat and all that. And my mom says, I think I want that cat. And we were all excited because I feel like they need a cat at their house to like sit on their laps and stuff. And so she kind of got really excited about it and called them. Well, they ended up giving the cat away. And so that was that. We were like, bummer. And there are tons of other cats, obviously, at the Humane Society. So I was like looking it up. I'm like, let's go to the Humane Society and just see what they have, But I think our heart was kind of set on that one, But then on that post, that Facebook post, some other woman said, I have a cat. I run a rescue, and we could use somebody like you, to take cat. So after some back and forth, she said, just come to the rescue and take a look around and see what you see. So we went into the rescue, and there were bigger cats who seemed really sweet, but like once you pet them about 5 times, they'd kind of want to scratch and play. And we're just worried that with, everything going on at the house with my dad and everything, that we don't want a cat that's going to scratch them or be rough, So then there were kittens who were just bouncing off the walls and seemed like way too hyper. And then I look in the secondary room, and there's a kitten who's just scared to death. You could tell she was frightened, but she was so like adorable, but also kind of like chill compared to the other kittens. So I picked her up, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so cute. And I handed her over to my mom, and I think like instantly my mom fell in love with her, and this is her. And at first she was so like sleepy and just chill that I kind of was a little worried that maybe something wasn't right with her. I mean, this is how she was for like 24 hours. And we didn't even have a cat carrier, and she just rode in my sister's lap in the car, just totally chill. And the woman from the cat rescue actually stopped by my mom's house later to drop off paperwork. And she was like, I'm so worried that there's something wrong with that kitten, because of the way she was acting. And I was like, yeah. And so she's like, get blood work done, this and that. And if anything's wrong with her, I'll take her back. And we're like, okay. And I had looked up, if you saw her tail, I don't have a picture with her tail, but it's like this kind of color. She almost looks like a ragdoll kitten. But it was funny because after she slept, like literally for half a day, she woke up and went and ate and then started like just, looking all around the house. And at first she would always walk with her tail down and curled under, which was odd. But by the later in the first day, she started coming to us with her tail up and she'd walk to us. And she's just the sweetest little baby thing. I wish I had a picture of her eyes open, but I don't. But she has blue eyes. Hold on, let me find this other picture real quick. What the heck? Oh no, where'd I put the other picture? Hold on. I gotta show you kind of her full body. But it was like so sweet because sorry, I'm trying to get back to it. Okay. But yeah, she's a real sweetheart. And so she seems perfectly healthy after we had her for the week. She's running around and she's so sweet and she doesn't claw you or anything. She's just like a little sweet angel baby. So we are thrilled with her. And she's still a little scared of like men. She seems scared of my dad and my uncle. But my dad's feeding her, I think, now. And so hopefully she'll come around to him a little more. And so she had some fleas, so I gave her a bath with, if you use Dawn dish soap, it kills fleas. So we did that. And I trimmed her little finger claws. I fostered kittens for a long time. And I know this is going to be a sweetheart baby. But anyway, so that was very fun. We played with her a lot. And it was my mom's birthday while we were there. And so we had a key lime pie, and Dolly Parton was selling in their grocery store a chocolate pie, and we love chocolate chess pie. So we got this to try. It wasn't very good. It was no chocolate chess pie. It was like real thick. I don't know how else to explain it. Kind of like heavy. So then, while we were there, my sister wanted to go to the thrift stores and secondhand shops because she likes that. And I do too. So I didn't buy any clothes at all, but I found this thing and I was pretty excited about it. And it was funny because it's sitting on a shelf, and at first I thought it was a dog harness. But then I saw this label. Where is it? This. And I was like, hold on a minute. I think this is a weighted vest. And it is. It's a weighted vest. You put it on over your head, and then you click this around your waist. And these are reflective. So when you're walking, they reflect. And this is an 8-pound weighted vest, which doesn't sound all that heavy, but honestly, when I lifted it up, I was like, ooh, that's weighty. That's pretty heavy. I mean, So I put it on and I wore it around the store. And the funny thing is, I'm wearing this goofy thing around the store for my sister was looking for like half an hour. And I kept talking to her, and never once did she notice that I was wearing this thing. Finally, I'm like, did you notice anything? But, yeah, so I bought this. So I thought I'll wear it when I go walking around the neighborhood. Just because, sometimes I think think I want to backpack more, but I really got to get my knees and stuff ready for the extra weight. So this is only 8 pounds, which isn't as heavy as a backpack, but it'll be good practice, I think. So I'm going to start wearing it, I think, when I walk around my neighborhood. I heard it's good for your bones, to carry like a little extra. But it is something when you lift it up and you go, oh, that's pretty heavy, and you think, it's only 8 pounds. I mean, that's heavy. So when you're carrying like an extra 10 pounds, that's a lot of weight on your knees and stuff. So, I don't know. Anyway, so I think this will be kind of fun to try out. I'm excited. You just put it over your head, and then this goes in the front, and that goes in the back. And it's got like, I don't know what's in here. Some kind of almost like feels like a heavy bean bag or something. I don't know what it is. So that'll be good, I think. I don't think it's ever been used. Somebody bought it and decided not to use it. So the other thing I got was this book, which was like a blast from the past in my head because my boys had this book. It's probably still in their bedroom somewhere, but I wasn't positive, so I went ahead and bought it. And I thought it might be fun to kind of look through. It's the Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook. The need to know stats and facts on over 800 characters. So I know a lot of people enjoy the Pokemon videos. So I thought it might be fun to look through this. And we can just kind of, oh look, there's Meowth. And we can just look at their facts that he's from the region Kanto. Meowth blazes about during the day and becomes active at night when it roams city streets looking for coins and other shiny objects. It has developed a rivalry with Murkrow. Oh my. So that might be, oh, I love Mew. She's so pretty. She looks like my mom's kitten. So anyway, I think that'll be fun. And then the other thing that I got, this was in my parents' basement, collecting dust. And I forgot to tell my mom I took it, but I don't think she'd probably really care. I'll bring it back, Mom, if you want. But it's called Macrocosmos, a poem by James Laffer. And I thought it's like buildings and railroads and like maybe a Greek Orthodox church or something like that. So I just thought this could be interesting maybe. I haven't read it yet, so I'll probably read it a little bit, but then maybe we can read parts of it. I don't know. I don't think poetry is something people particularly enjoy on here, but we can try it. It's kind of an interesting book. Very, very old. So that's something to do sometime. So the other thing that happened in Tennessee is we saw the Northern Lights one night all the way in Tennessee, which is pretty far south to see the Northern Lights, but I had seen that people were seeing them in Maryland, and so we're like, well, let's just take a look, and sure enough, there they were. So I was looking around at other people and people all over the world. I posted I did. I posted it on this channel in the community page, which if you subscribe, I think you see the community post. I don't remember. But, people from all over the world saw them. How cool is that? I was like, that is so cool. So like, if you saw them, put it in the comments. Let me know, and where, and like basic location. You don't have to tell me like your address. But like, I'm just curious. Like, people seem to see them everywhere that night. It was so crazy. All right. Oh, and then on the drive home, I saw these. And, you know, I did that video about the coffin daffer crosses that are everywhere. I must have seen 6 sets on the way home, but I managed to snap this photo while I was driving, which is dangerous. But I had to do it. And so they're 2 light blue and a yellow cross. And those are kind of an interesting story if you're interested in why they're all over the place. And then the worst part was, it's a pretty long drive for me to begin with, but we run into a backup that, it was so bad, people were, you know, turning around on the highway median and going the other way. And I'm like debating, should I do that? I don't know. But I ended up sitting through it, and it was a multi-car pileup. I counted 10, but I think there were more than 10 cars piled up. So don't drive too close to the car in front of you guys, because if one guy brakes, it's hard. It's hard not to. And there were semi-trucks and regular cars and everybody all smashed up. So I finally get through that, and I swear it wasn't 20 minutes later, it backs up again. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I had to go to the bathroom. It sucked. Also, I still had like a quarter tank of gas, but you start to kind of go, oh boy, I hope I don't run out of gas. So Waz says, if you get off on this exit, I'll take you this very long way around, and we'll get you back on the highway after the holdup. I'm like, okay, let's do that. Well, then I get off and end up on a side road, because I think everybody's thing told them, and it's all banged up on the side road. I'm like, no. So we sat in traffic on this side road, and luckily at the end of that, like a half an hour later, there was a gas station, because now I'm really running low on gas, and they claimed their bathroom was out of service. I'm like, yeah, sure. I was ready to just go pee around the side of the building. I was like, ah. But anyway, I lived, I survived. And then we get back on the highway. There was a third backup. Luckily by then I had gas, and I'd gone to the bathroom at a rest stop. But we ended up sitting there for, I was so exhausted. By the time I got home, I'm like, ugh, that was too much. But I was listening to podcasts, and so that made it okay. But it was still like a long haul. And one of the podcasts that I like to listen to is called Never Not Funny. But they had a guest on who was a bore, and that sucked. Because I'm like, oh God, he's so boring. And then another podcast I listened to is called Oh No, Ross and Carrie. And it is sometimes a great podcast, and then sometimes it's a mid kind of podcast, you know what I mean? But it's this 2 people, Ross and Carrie, and they like try things so you don't have to kind of things, but mostly like mysterious and, you know, whatever. And it started off, that podcast, I've listened to it for 15 years, I think. But it started off, they were trying out like those things you put on your feet that soak up toxins and turn black, and, you know, things like that. And they'd be like, yeah, doesn't do anything, and it's just a scam. But then they got like crazy, and like Ross joined the Church of Scientology just to like debunk the Church of Scientology, you know, or see if it works for him. I mean, it could go either way. And then one time they went to Costa Rica, and he did plant medicine, which is called ayahuasca. And that, it was like I don't remember how many maybe 4-part series of him doing it 3 different times and telling you everything. It was riveting. I have listened to it twice. And the Scientology one, I think I've listened to twice. But the things they do are crazy. But usually Ross does them, and Carrie seems to always have some reason why she can't do the experiment. And so I like her, but for me, Ross is the guy, like he's the reason I listen. And so they just posted an episode where they said they're not coming back. They're done with the podcast. So I'm hoping that Ross keeps making something because I think he's really good. I would do it. I would do a thing like an experiment, like go try something with him. I'd co-host. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, and I wouldn't like join. He joined Mormonism. He joined Scientology. He's done crazy stuff. But I mean, there are certain things I'd be willing to do. Like one time they were going to do a juicer, and Gary was like, after one day she couldn't do it. I'm like, I've done 14 days on juice. I'll do stuff like that. Anyway, so that's what's been going on with me. I'll try to get back to making videos pretty quickly. I know I've had requests for like NFL. Oh, sorry, I missed the NFL picks last week. I was in Tennessee. I couldn't do it. But I'll try to do, people are asking, well, people want me to do European soccer, golf, baseball, NFL, chess. All just sounds. I don't know. I have a list. I try to, but it's hard because some of those take more studying, and I have to work, like, especially because now I've been gone for a week, so I have to catch up on work. So I can't, like, do things that take a whole lot of research on my part right away, but I will soon. I'll try to. So know that I hear you. I just I'm not always able to do it, But I will do an NFL picks this Wednesday. That I plan to do. Yeah. My mom had an Amazon toy catalog at her house, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll have one when I get home, and I can look through it. I didn't get one. How do I get a hold of one of those? Anyway. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys soon. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other stuff, but I don't know. All right. I will talk to you very, very soon. Thanks for watching, and thanks for always watching. I really appreciate you guys. Super deluxe essential handbook. I think we've seen a lot of these when we've looked at cards. That's like owlet, nude guy, monkey guy with leaf ron. Oh, I know this guy's name. I can't think of it. That's gonna bug me. Frog guy. I don't know their names. Yeah, this will be fun to look through because I can see it better than the cards are so small.